You've clicked on a video called The Most Depressing Guide to Happiness. That alone tells me something about you. Maybe you're tired. Not just tired like sleep-deprived, tired like soul-tired. Tired of chasing something that always seems just out of reach. Tired of being told that you should smile more, be more grateful, raise your vibration, manifest better mornings, and maybe, just maybe, you're ready to look at happiness without the glitter. Welcome. This isn't the kind of guide that ends with 5 easy steps or a sunrise montage. There's no scented candle here, no tidy quote to fix what's broken. What you'll find instead is something quieter, something harder, but maybe in the end, something more honest. Let's start here. What if happiness isn't a gift you earn or a mood you command, but a pressure, a performance even, one you're expected to deliver on 24/7? You see it in the way people post. Always smiling, always thriving, always grateful for the little things, even when life is falling apart behind the scenes. There's a phrase I keep hearing: choose happiness. Sounds empowering, right? But what happens when you can't? Imagine telling someone with a broken leg to choose walking, or someone in grief to choose peace. These aren't choices. They're emotional states, shaped by memories, neurochemistry, relationships, trauma, and time. When someone says just be happy, they might mean well. But the message underneath is often, your sadness is inconvenient. It's a subtle form of cruelty disguised as encouragement. And in the world we live in, where attention is currency, happiness has become a performance, a branding exercise, a public-facing mask. Open any app and scroll for 10 seconds. You'll see curated joy, airbrushed fulfillment, filtered enlightenment. You're not watching people live. You're watching people edit. And it's easy to forget that. Easy to mistake the highlights for the whole story. But behind every perfect grid post is a messy room, a strained relationship, a quiet doubt. So we compare our behind the scenes to someone else's movie trailer and feel like we're failing. This comparison is not harmless. It leaves a residue. It convinces you that happiness is something everyone else figured out, and you're just too broken to catch up. That's when you start looking for answers. And that's where the worst advice often shows up. Raise your vibration. Positive vibes only. Manifest abundance. It all sounds so floaty, so vague. Like someone took real pain, put it through a filter, and sold it back to you as enlightenment. The problem with this kind of advice isn't just that it doesn't work. It's that it gaslights your nervous system. You can't out-mantra trauma. You can't breathe your way out of abandonment. And you certainly can't think positive your way through clinical depression. It's like yelling relax at someone mid-panic. It doesn't help. It only makes them feel more broken for not being able to do what they're supposed to. And if you've ever tried to fake happiness for too long, you know how it backfires. Emotionally, physically, even neurologically. Because your brain knows. It knows when you're lying. When you say, I'm fine, but your body is tense, your chest is tight, your thoughts keep circling like vultures, the disconnect creates friction, a kind of emotional static, and it builds up quietly until it spills out. Sometimes as burnout, sometimes as anxiety, sometimes as numbness. But here's the thing no one tells you. You don't need to be happy to be whole. You need to feel. Even the hard stuff. Especially the hard stuff. Sadness, boredom, fear, they're not mistakes. They're part of the full spectrum of being human. They signal, they teach, they move us towards something. When you allow them, not wallow, not indulge, but allow, they pass. Like weather, like tides. But when you suppress them, mask them, shame them, that's when they stagnate. That's when they grow teeth. We treat happiness like a destination. Like if we just optimize our morning routine enough, buy the right journal, eat the right number of almonds, we'll arrive. But happiness isn't a place. It's a shadow. It follows you when you're moving towards something meaningful. Not when you're standing still, staring at your reflection, asking, why don't I feel better yet? Meaning doesn't always feel good. It can hurt. It can feel lonely, slow, uncertain. But it's real. It's rooted. And from that, something more sustainable than happiness can grow. You see this in art, in literature, in cultures that honor melancholy as a kind of beauty. The Japanese have a word, mono no aware. It roughly means the bittersweetness of things, the beauty of impermanence, of fragile moments, of tenderness born from knowing it won't last. There's a reason we cry during sad movies. Why heartbreak songs feel deeper than pop anthems. Why people who've suffered often carry a quiet wisdom. Sadness builds the soul. It slows you down. It makes you listen. And sometimes when you stop pretending to be happy, you start to feel something else, something quieter, something truer. Maybe not joy, but presence, clarity, a strange kind of peace. So if you've been chasing happiness and keep coming up empty, maybe the answer isn't to run faster. Maybe it's to stop chasing, to stop performing, to stop asking what's wrong with me, and instead ask, what's real for me right now?
What if you gave up on happiness, just for a while?
Not out of despair, but out of curiosity. What would happen if you let yourself feel tired or disappointed or angry without apology? Maybe in that space something softer would appear, something like grace, or relief, or eventually contentment. You don't owe the world a smile. You don't owe yourself a transformation. You are allowed to feel lost, to feel sad, to feel nothing. And if happiness ever arrives, let it surprise you. Let it come uninvited, like a breeze through an open window. But don't chase it, because happiness is not a prize. It's not proof that you're healed. It's not the meaning of life. It's just a shadow. It follows you when you walk in the direction of something real.